No fancy intro today, no whiskey, but let's talk about our weak, pathetic and insensitive Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, or as he's also known as ScoMo. The Prime Minister went on holidays while our country was and is still burning. Morison's ill-judged holiday has become a thing, a totem, a social media event. It somehow epitomises everything that's wrong with this bloke. As well as failing to show up at a critical time, Morison is a hypocrite because he once blasted Christine Nixon for eating dinner during a bushfire. But I'm not fussed about Morison's holiday. I really don't care. Presumably his family wants to see him, and it will be a safe bet that his staff want the boss out the door for 5 minutes so they can get some things done without him banging into their cubicles with a new thought. I don't give a shit if Morison was on the beach with a crime novel, or if he was dancing in a bar like nobody is watching, or if he's trying to meditate at a yoga retreat while secretly firing off insights on Twitter. What I give a shit about is that we have a government led by him, which is, in many different ways, failing to rise to the challenges of our time. They are failing us. I thought as a leader, not as a politician, he would do better. Set an example for his family. People are angry about Morison's mini break because it symbolises the lack of leadership he has shown on the bushfires. The Morison holiday has accumulated public outrage because it symbolises absence. A Prime Minister too regularly substituting rhetoric for action. A Prime Minister apparently too pleased with himself to understand that people need more from government than they are getting. I really don't care that he took a holiday. What I care about, and will go on caring about, is what this bloke does from here on end. I mean, we have had banks exposed for reaching into the pockets of dead people, churches exposed for dumping pedophile priests on unsuspecting parishes, and a once-in-a-century drought that was ravaging the region for years before city politicians even noticed. And so when that drought literally fueled a literal firestorm that literally consumed people's lives and homes, that anger could no longer be contained. That is the true source of the rage. But let's not forget that it was the Greens that blocked Labor's emissions trading scheme 10 years ago out of an ideology and spite. The one piece of legislation at the one point in time that might have actually helped curtail the severity of these bushfires today. The product of all this, that while on paper it looks like that we have had 5 Prime Ministers in the last decade, we haven't really even had one. Instead, we have been governed by opposition leaders in nicer suits. The real problem with national leadership in Australia is that no one in the past 10 years is any good at it. The truth is that leadership didn't just take a holiday when the PM went to Hawaii last month. Leadership vacated the field in this country a decade ago. So I want to do my part and give a big shout out to the firefighters from the United States and Canada who are working alongside our men and women. The US National Firefighting Coordination Center has sent an additional 20 veteran firefighters from California. There were 81 US firefighters aiding Australian authorities at the end of last week. Australians have previously travelled to the US and Canada to fight fires in the Northern Hemisphere, but this fire season is the first that US firefighters have come down under. Canada is also ramping up its response to Australia's catastrophic fire season, which has claimed 24 lives and destroyed hundreds of homes and thousands of wildlife. I also want to give a big shout out and a thank you to New Zealand, Singapore and Papua New Guinea, who have all offered military support, and to the French President Emmanuel Macron, who had called to offer operational assistance. We say thank you. I'm going to end it here because I'm angry and sad. Sad for the devastation that we have let it go this far. This isn't a partisan issue. I don't care whether you're a climate activist or a climate denier. I don't care whether you voted Labor or Liberal. Our country needs leadership. And I'm sorry world, we have failed you. Now most of you know by now that I love animals, and for those of you who would like to donate to the animal victims of this catastrophic fire, please donate to the Animal Rescue Collective. I could go on, but I'm not going to. But what I will do is leave a link in the description of a video from comedian Jordan Shanks, also known as Friendly Jordies, who calls for the Queen to sack Scott Morrison over the Australia's bushfire disaster. Now, Jordan is a true lefty and we disagree on a lot of issues, but I can unequivocally say that I wholeheartedly agree with him on this. Plus, he supports the Animal Rescue Collective. So please watch it. It's in the link in the description. I'm Gerald Pauschmann for The Point TV. Thanks for watching.